top. There ain't none of y'all stopping me. Used to say I never get a ring, Charles Barkley. Now I got a wife, got kids, own property. Bubble-eyed beans that look like that be watching me. Okay, I lied about the beans, but that was hard though. I'm still in that black act, but she starred though. Cause that's all it takes. I'm flashing for. I'm on my grind, not no more fashion show.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? I am Sherman Lewis Jr. I am the owner of Squeaky Clean Commercial Cleaning. I am also the founder of Clean Success Academy and also Clean Success VA Staffing Solutions. Yeah, I am a member of Clean Biz University and a partner with AJ Simmons in the automations course. And what we're going to do today is we're going to kind of have a heart-to-heart talk. We're going to chat. We're going to talk about your business, mainly automations, right? How is the automations going in your business? Have you tried to implement automations in your business? But I want this to be an interactive conversation. I don't want to sit here and talk all day and just tell you what's on my mind and stuff like that. I want to hear what's coming, what's on your mind with some experiences that you've had with your automations program. So do me a favor in the chat. If you have any questions in reference to automations, do me a favor and put it in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Also, tell us what the name of your business is. We would love to give your business a shout out on this platform. Any advertising is good advertising the way I look at it. So if we can give you the opportunity to kind of put your business up online and we talk about it and, give you a shout out, that's what we're going to do. So do me a favor. I need you guys to be as interactive as possible. I need you guys to, be as enthusiastic as possible. That way it'll help me make it to the hour. I'm going to try to make it an hour. Normally we do like 30 minutes on here, and then we go on to our main platform, which is in the CBN network. But I don't really have the ability to do that when AJ's not on here. So I'm going to extend the time a little bit longer and just go see how far we can go. So do me a favor, like I said, put your comments in there, and I'll try to stay on here as long as possible. All right, so let's see. Let's start out like this. Okay, so the name of this live today is going to be, or it is, why your automations isn't working and how to fix it fast, right? Right. So a lot of times people have actually tried to automate their business. Some people don't even know what automating their business is, and that's where we come in. We come in to kind of help you out and teach you kind of the things that you need to do in order to get your business automated. Because to me, in order to elevate your business to the next level, you have to automate it. So I always say automate to elevate. And if you want to elevate, you have to automate. So you can reverse it however you want to, but it works in both ways. So I'm going to talk about why your automation is not working. So most people don't really have what we call an automations problem, right? They have what's called a structure problem. Automation didn't fail you, but when in essence what happened, you built it in the wrong foundation. All right. So there's a kind of a steps that you have to go in order to create automations. It's not normal. I won't say it's not normal or it's not right, but it's probably more right than wrong for you to have a certain kind of order of steps that you do in order to get your automations going. While we, before we really get into it, let's see, we have somebody comment. We have Jonathan Pericles, 5114, Glow Pro Cleaning Services, LLC. We are in Atlanta, Georgia. Awesome. How's business down in Atlanta, Georgia? Atlanta is such a large area, and I imagine that there's so much competition down there. So how are things going? Is your business automated? Let me know if your business is automated or if you're even interested in automating your business. And so if you are, let's get this out the way right now. If you're interested in the automations program, what you want to do is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, you're going to see a website. It says www.cleanbizuniversity.com/automations. Then the automations program is something I partner with AJ Simmons, the GOAT, and we kind of teach you, or we teach you how to set up your business so that you have automations in place. And the purpose of the automations is to take you away from doing all the hands-on things within your business, right? All the things that take away time from you growing your business, all the things that take take away time from you trying to take your business to the next level because you're working in your business and not on your business. So the goal is to make it automated as possible. And when you automate your business, you put yourself in a whole nother kind of category or perspective coming for clients that are coming on board. When they see that you have automations in place, it's like, oh wow, cool. When they make contact with you, or they try to reach out to you on your website, when they reach out to you, they get an automated response, saying, hey, thank you for reaching out. We see that you were interested. Kind of follow-up questions, or even a text message, an email, or something like that. Or even the ability to go onto your website or your link or whatever, your page, and be able to schedule a walkthrough with you, or even go in and get an instant quote with you, from you, without even talking to you. And all of this stuff is automated, and it can be done. And we show you how to do this within the automations program. Those are certain things that kind of put you, in the same playing field with the bigger companies, because those bigger companies are automated. They would not be able to do it if they weren't automated. So definitely, if you want to kind of learn more about it, ask your questions here in the automations Q&A. And also go to www.cleanbizuniversity.com/automations, where you will get myself and AJ the GOAT to kind of walk you through and teach you everything that you are going to need to know in order to take your business to the next level using automations. All right. So last week, AJ was doing the live, and in his live, he was talking about the 3 steps to automate your cleaning business, right? So he broke it down. I was watching him. I want to take that a step further, because a lot of people try to implement it. They try to implement it, but it still doesn't work. Okay, so if you've ever built something in your CRM and it didn't perform the way that you expected, all right, this is why, right? Because automations is a process. Okay, if it's messy, let's put it this way, if it's messy manually, then when you try to automate it, you're just going to automate a bunch of mess. You really are. Because so you have to have systems in place. You have to have your system set out so that you're not actually automating kind of a reaction, but you're trying to automate an actual outcome, if that makes sense. All right. So do you actually know the steps, from lead to walkthrough to client, right? What are those steps that are, those have to be a system. What happens when you get a lead? How are you getting these leads? Are they calling you on the phone, right? Are they texting you? What are they doing? How are the leads coming in? Okay, so then once those leads are coming in, how are they scheduling a walkthrough for you? How are they, getting on your calendar for you to come out and visit them? To give them a walkthrough, to give them a quote. And then after you do all of that, how are they receiving the quote, right? And how are they accepting the quote? And then once they accepted the quote, what's the process? What happens after that? Do you just show up? They don't know. Nobody knows what's going on, because you don't have a process. You're just winging it one step at a time. So one thing that we do with, and it's set up in our automations program, where if you are in an automations program, all of these workflows and automations and forms and kind of resources that we use in order to automate our business are given to you. You're signed up for the CRM, which is where everything is housed, so that you can do everything within your, basically a one-stop shop. You can do everything within the CRM. You can communicate with your clients back and forth. You can communicate with your technicians back and forth. You can schedule walkthroughs, schedule, appointments or anything like that. You can do your social media. All your social media posting and stuff like that can be done within the CRM, right? But there are ways that you can kind of automate all of that stuff so that you're not the one that's doing it. Okay, so let's go back to the process from the lead to the walkthrough to the client. Tell me, how are people finding you? How are they scheduling a walkthrough with you, or doing a consultation, a discovery call, or anything like that? How are they doing that? So do me a favor. Does anybody in here have a way on their website where they can actually go in and schedule an appointment with you directly, or do they have to call you? right? One thing is if they have to call you, that's the process. That's a part of the glitch in your process. It's fine. I know, when you start off, that's the way it's going to be, and I understand that. I've been there. I've done that. That happens. People still call me to this day because some people still like to call, but a lot of people like the ability to just go on your website and do it. Right. So on my website, if you go to my website, you can, and you're a client or a lead or anything for whatever services that I have, but we're specifically talking about cleaning services, they can go on there. They can fill out a instant quote form on there. Once they fill that quote uh, form out, what it does is it gives them an estimate quote or price on what it would cost to clean their facility. So once they fill that quote out, and I'll probably show you a picture of it if I can find it quickly, or kind of walk you through how it goes. But once they fill that quote out, they'll get an instant email back, right? And in that email, it's going to tell them approximately how much it's going to cost to service their facility. Now, it's not exact. Of course, it's going to also say that these numbers are just estimates. Once we schedule an appointment for someone to come out to your facility to kind of do a in-person walkthrough, we can give you more accurate prices, right? So after that's done, it sends them a link to go to, no, actually it sends them directly to your calendar, your scheduling calendar. Okay. And I'm going to get to the comments, guys. So just give me one quick second. I'm gonna get to them real quick. But once they get to, once they go to your calendar, they schedule an appointment with you, and it comes directly to, whether it be whoever is handling your administrative areas, like either you, your virtual assistant, a staff member, or whatever. It sends them a message letting them know, hey, you have an appointment scheduled at this time with this person. It lets them know what that quote form said. So in that quote form, it also asks them what their budget is. So once they put that budget in there, it helps come up with the quote. So it's all this stuff is automated. It does it automatically from the person going in there and putting that information in there. You never talk to the person at all, right? So before we automated everything, people were calling us. You're sitting down looking at your calendar, trying to figure out, okay, what time do I have available to go in there and schedule a walkthrough with somebody. Then you're giving them a quote. You're trying to find out what their budget is so you can figure out how much you're going to charge them, this, that, and the third. But I'm going to pause right there because I know that some people have made some comments. So I want to go ahead and make sure I address the comments that are in here, because I appreciate you guys, because your comments is going to help me, keep going. So Miguel Hernandez says, having trouble automating my sales. Most of my time is spent working on raising my children. Understood. I'm trying to get sales automated, but I'm struggling. Okay, so specifically within sales, what do you mean by you're trying to get your sales automated? Because there are a number of ways that you can do it. Do you have a sales team? Are you the person that's actually doing the calling and doing the cold calling and trying to get people to schedule appointments for walkthroughs? Are you going through a company like AJ and Clean Biz Network where they offer leads? You can do it that way. That's actually a way of automating it, because automation is just you not being the person that's doing it, right? So if you can come up with use other resources to do that, which is taught in the automations course. In the automations course, it teaches you the same process that AJ uses for Clean Biz Network and the lead generation service. It teaches you the same process that he uses in order to get those leads, right? And in that automation, that program is also called the in-house lead generation service. It teaches you how to tap into a database, a nationwide database of numbers and addresses and all that other stuff of companies throughout America. And you can actually do your own cold calling, and you can have your team set up. You can have virtual assistants, VAs, or you can have somebody within your staff doing all of that. That's taught within the automations program. So that's definitely a way, if that's what you're referring to, a way of automating your business or the sales portion of your business. Okay, next question or statement. We have Jonathan Piracles again. We have a lot of competition with many cleaning companies in the area. That's right, you're in Atlanta, but we're doing well. I joined the Clean Biz Network about 2 weeks ago. Oh, okay, well, welcome aboard. Welcome to the family. and I'm definitely interested. Well, please watch if you have any questions, any further questions, and it looks like you do further on. Definitely ask your questions. But now that you're in Clean Biz Network, you have an open it's an open door policy. You can get onto our community that's within Clean Biz Network. You can ask any questions that you want within that community. We're not gatekeepers in Clean Biz Network. We willingly give out and share information, because reach one, teach one, help one. We all try to help one another kind of level up. And I know when I first started, I started and I found AJ from YouTube, and I kind of was drawn to him because he was answering questions that people were trying to convince me that, hey, you need to fill out, you need to get this course, you need to get this program, he was giving out information for free, just gems, stuff that, simple questions, but because I was new, I didn't know the answer, I didn't know the right way to go. And I'm not trying to get into the Clean Biz Network kind of member. This is talking about automations, but I'm talking to you because you're new to the family, how open and how helpful they're going to be. So you just put in your questions, any questions, issues, thoughts, just ideas, put it right into the community. One of us is going to reach out to you, as quickly as possible to kind of respond to you, because we all want to help one another get to the next level. And you took the perfect first step. And the first step was joining Clean Biz Network. Now, the next step is going to be, after you kind of get a little bit, established, going to www.cleanbizuniversity.com/automations and getting into the automations course. But once again, welcome to the family. We appreciate you, and we're glad that you joined. All right. So next comment is from Jonathan again, says, however, we currently have an admin and a cold caller from Upwork, and they haven't been as consistent as we need. And that's funny. And I say it's funny because I did the same thing. And I'm going to tell you why it's funny. It's funny because when I first got into the automations program, I went to Upwork. I did everything that, and AJ teaches you how to do it, because that's one of the platforms that you can go to get a virtual assistant. Really, really good if you've never had a VA before. It definitely helps. They do everything for you. But I'm not promoting it, because from using Upwork, from learning what I learned in the automations program, and like I said, the in-house lead generation services within the automations program, I figured out everything that was going on, from how to post and get virtual assistants to do interviews, right? How to have them clock in and clock out. I learned platforms to use in order to do that. I learned how to use communication systems like the CRM or Slack or anything like that in order to help communicate back and forth with them. And I learned how to pay them, right? So those are all the things that really helped out. But one thing that I learned from being with AJ, being with Clean Biz Network, learning from the automations program, I learned how to reverse engineer everything, and I ended up creating a VA staffing system, right? That's a VA staffing company, right? And I did that because I realized that all of this stuff that we were doing in Upwork and all this other stuff, we're paying them to do all of that stuff when we can actually do it ourselves. All right. So once I was able to do it myself, I created a training program for my VAs that allowed all my VAs that came in to know how to be prepared to be VAs for cleaning business owners. And like I said, I don't want to get into a tangent about VAs, but VAs is a way of automating your business. And I just learned how to cut out the middleman, cut out Upwork, and be able to do it myself within my CRM and within my automations. And now all of my automations run through me, run through my VAs and all this other stuff, so that now I'm not doing all of the work. Currently, as we speak, my VAs are creating 3 separate websites. They're also doing my social media posts. One of my VAs is managing the other VAs within the staffing agency. They're also helping my wife and my daughter with their businesses, and I'm not doing any of it. I just created, the systems that go along with making sure that's all managed, and I learned all of that within the automations program. Okay, and it's been absolutely amazing, and it's something that you can do yourself also. And but like I said, I'm not knocking Upwork, but a lot of times what happens with Upwork and is that you don't you so VAs for cleaning business owners are different from VAs in other businesses, right? Unless your VA has had experience with a cleaning business, being in the cleaning business industry, there's going to be a learning curve that you're going to have to close, right? And that comes with training. So you're going to have to train them how to the pretty much the lingo, the jargon, the expectations when it comes to cleaning businesses, uh, learning how to cold call for cleaning businesses. And like I said, that's in the in-house lead generation service, but the in-house lead generation service is within the automations course. So if you get the automations course, you get all of that. You get the in-house lead generation service, you get the starter course, you get all of that stuff when you get the automations. But all of that, but you learn how to do all of that stuff. And the kind of the part that was missing for a lot of the VAs, which you'll probably experiencing, is they don't know how to be virtual assistants for cleaning business owners. Think about it like this: when I'm sure you've gotten calls from virtual assistants all the time, trying to sell you something. 9 times out of 10, they're probably calling you because you clicked onto a lead magnet. You filled out your information. You wanted some more information on. They said, like when you're on social media, hey, we have this free document. If you type in, mentor, or you type in coaching or whatever in the comments, we'll send this document to you. Well, they'll send you the document, but they'll send you a link to the document. Then when you go to the link, you have to put in your information. When you put in your information, all you're doing is getting into their CRM, right? You're getting into their lead list of people that they can reach out to, right? So 9 times out of 10, when a VA says that they have made cold calls, they have been cold calling people that are within a list that have already said that they were interested in whatever that you were selling. That's different from the cleaning business, because in the cleaning business, when we call people, they're not expecting us to call unless we have created a lead magnet that have put them on our list, right? So our people are calling people that are trying to get us off the phone. They're real cold calls. The other calls are more like warm leads, right? Because they already showed interest. So now think of it this way. You have your VAs calling people that are not expecting your call every day, making 100, 150 calls a day, right? That's not, to me, it's very difficult. And I've actually asked a bunch of my VAs, hey, how do you feel about making that many calls? Now that you're in the cleaning industry, how do you feel about making that many calls and you're getting so many no's, over a period of time? It's like, yes, it gets discouraging. So a lot of times what I do is I kind of I don't make them do as many calls. They do other tasks and stuff like that throughout the day in addition to calls. A lot of times people think that they need a virtual assistant to do cold calls, and that's not what it is. You don't need a virtual assistant to just do cold calls. They can do so many other things. And the way that I learned this is from the automations program. In the automations program, I was able to learn, hey, you can have your VA or your admin, somebody in-house, or you can hire somebody, within your team, or one of your technicians. You can give them an operations position or a supervisor position or whatever, and you can have them do things that take away from the time that you are taking to work in your business, and you can use that time and work on your business. You can have them do invoices. You can have them do proposals. You can have them do follow-ups with clients. You submitted proposals. When do you do your follow-up? All right. When do you normally, after you put in a proposal, right? You let them know, hey, you email it to them, right? Which you can do in the CRM. You can send your proposal right in the CRM. But after you do that, what happens? Do you wait for them to call you? Do you know when to call them back? These are questions that you need to already have answered, because once you have those things answered, you need to have that in a system, in a list, in a checklist of things to do, right? So after we send the proposal, either the same day or within 24 hours, we reach back out to see if they received the proposal, right? And then if we don't have any communication with them, we reach back again. Okay. Then if we get in contact with them, we say, hey, we sent the proposal. We want to make sure that you received the proposal. Do you have any questions? Anything that we can kind of, clear up? Any questions that you may have? Any adjustments that you may want to make to the proposal that we sent out, right? But most times we just wing it. Oh, let me remember to call these people. Let me remember to call that person. In my system, or one of the systems that I have, it automatically sends me a reminder, not me, it sends that one sends to me. That one sends to me because I handle my proposals personally, but my VAs can do it too if I'm out of the office or I'm out of town on vacation. And you can set it up where after a certain amount of time, it triggers a reminder. Hey, contact this person to do a follow-up for this proposal, right? Or contact this person, say 6 months down the road, because say, for instance, we didn't get the account, but we want to call back about 6 months down or maybe 9 months after to see how the cleaning is going. Because a lot of times they'll go with the lowest bidder. They get that cleaner's not up to par. We reach back out to them. Hey, just checking in, see how everything's going, seeing how everything's going with the new cleaners that you went with. Is there anything we can do? Just letting you know we're available if you just something like that. All this stuff is automated in my system, and we can teach you how to do that within the automations program. It takes the mental strain off of you from trying to remember everything, right? So, all right, let me keep going. Okay, Miguel Hernandez said lead generation. Awesome. Yes, the lead generation is within the automations program. And if you want to know how to get into the automations program, ask your questions here. Go down to www.cleanbizuniversity.com/automations, and you can join now. All right, Ricardo Castillo says, oh yeah, a few years ago, I was trying to contact you, but impossible to reach you since you're super busy. I'm not that busy. All right, if you're in Dallas, Texas, I would discuss with you, sit down. Okay, was that for me or for somebody else? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure who that is, but yeah, I'm never that busy to talk to people that want to talk about cleaning business. That's my wife. I'll sit and I'll talk about this for hours at a time, and so if you need to reach out, hey, you can reach me right here, or the best place to reach me is in Clean Biz University or Clean Biz Network, and also cleanbizuniversity.com/automations. Join Clean Biz Automations, and you can have me at any time to kind of discuss anything dealing with your automations or your systems. All right, so let's keep going. So what we were talking about. So one of the problems, automating without a process. And I explained to you that in order to automate, you have to have a system, you have to have a process in order to automate. You can't just wing it and just automate just like that. You want to have something to build off of. All right. So automation just speeds up whatever system you already have. So whether that system is good or bad, all it's going to do is speed it up, and it's going to emphasize or kind of enhance, whether that's a good or a bad process. All right. So the other problem with it is automating tasks instead of outcomes. A lot of times you're focused on sending messages and not getting results, right? You'll send a text message after a missed call. Okay. So how do you know you even got a missed call? You look on your phone, be like, oh, I got a missed call, right? Well, you can automate it, which we have in automations course. We have an actual workflow within that course that says when somebody calls and you don't answer the call, it'll send a notification letting you know that you had a missed call, right? You don't have to look on your phone or anything like that to see if you had a missed call. Oh man, I didn't even realize I missed that call. No, you'll get a notification to come to you, or you can have it go to somebody within your staff, your VA, and it tells them that you had a missed call from this person at this time. You're right. And you can have it set up to have them call them back at a certain time or within a certain amount of time, and then follow that up. Okay. So another thing is, I think I spoke about it earlier. I was talking about how the ability to book within your site, within your landing page, your funnel, whatever you want to call it. A lot of clients like the ability to not have to call you, but they want to be able to just book it right on your site. So let me see if I can actually pull it up on my computer about the instant quote and how it looks. Because like I said, AJ created this forum within Clean Biz Network, and it was absolutely amazing. So let me see if I can pull it up. No, that's not the one that I want. Let's go to the other one. So you have the ability, like I said, to just go in right on to your website, or you can post it on your Facebook page or anything like this, anything like that. And okay, it's not pulling up. So just give me a second. I'll pull it up. I don't want to take away from the conversation. That way I can make sure things see. There it is. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen real quick with you, and you can see what I am talking about. So, okay. Okay. So this is my website, my business website, and this is a actual online booking. Okay. So get your custom janitorial service estimate in just a few clicks. So if you go in here, you can put in, let's say your company name, let's say ABC Company, right? Address, let's put in any address, put in my name, put in a number, let's make sure. Okay, good. All right, so what is the square footage of your space you want to clean? Let's say 2,500 square feet. How many days per week? Let's say 3 days a week. How much do you currently pay each month for your cleaning services? Let's say each month, let's say $525, right? And then you can upload any pictures, and this is you from the client perspective. You can upload any pictures. After you upload the pictures, you will click the request a quote. Okay, so now you can see, all right, hey, Sherman, the price to clean your facility could only be $438.41 per month. This means you could be saving $1,039.08 per year. Let's get your walkthrough consultation scheduled. Okay. So now, with that being said, now what will happen is, it's automated. They're not talking to you at all. So now what they'll do is they'll click on this, and what is it going to take them to? Let's see, and we share this tab. It takes them directly to your calendar, your scheduling calendar. So now, after they go to your scheduling calendar, they can pick from the available times to do a walkthrough, right? And you can set it up how you want to. You can only say your scheduling your scheduling availability for walkthroughs is, let's say, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or maybe just 1 day a week. But I have it set up. So if I say, let's say the 23rd at 10 o'clock, they'll do that. They'll send up. Now, this is where you get the rest of their information. Now they have to put in their information. You already know what their budget is because they put it in a form. Now you're going to have all their contact information. You're going to have everything that you're going to need to know and any additional information. Once you put that in, they schedule a meeting. Now that time is actually locked into your calendar. There's no double booking, so you can make sure that nothing else gets booked. No available time is going to be posted on the calendar that you already have an appointment for. Okay, so it's no chance of double booking, which is, I think, is the most amazing thing for people that live off of their calendars like I do. It's an absolute game changer, and it keeps everything in line, right? So now if your VA or your staff or whatever has other things scheduled for you, that time is not going to be available when they click on the calendar. Only the available times that you have on there. Okay, so I think that's an amazing thing that the automations program provides for you if you're in automation. So once again, cleanbizuniversity.com/automations. Go in there. This tool, that booking form that you saw right there, will automatically be uploaded to your account. So you'll already have the ability to use that within any of your websites. and we can help you help show you how to kind of put that into one of your landing pages or your website so that you can be, kind of automated, just like those those big box companies that have everything automated. You want to kind of stand out amongst the giants. I don't see a lot of comments. I don't see any more comments. So I'm kind of go a little bit further, and then I'm going to cut off because, excuse me. Well, at least I'm going to try to make it to 7. Let's try to make it to 7. As long as you guys keep interacting, I'll make it to 7. So let me go back to what I was talking about. So booking a walkthrough right from your site is definitely one of the better things that you can do. It keeps you out of the loop of manually having to do everything, having to be distracted, because suppose you are actually you're actually cleaning something right now, right? And then you get a phone call from somebody that wants to know about your services. They want to know if you have any time to come look at my facility, all of that stuff, all while you're on a job currently. You're probably going to miss that call, right? But if you have it on your website, they can go right to your website. They can fill all of that out, schedule a time, and they don't even have to talk to you until the meeting, right? You can also do a follow-up once you get that appointment, which I did. I was at the Clean Biz University conference in Florida last year, and I was one of the speakers. And while I was on stage, I didn't put a D&D or do not disturb on my phone. And it went off, and I was like, okay, because it went off, I was like, oh, it's an emergency. So I looked at it, and what it was a notification that someone had filled out a request for a walkthrough while I was on stage, right? So while I was on stage, somebody actually filled out a form. They scheduled an appointment, and I knew that when I got back from Florida, I think it was that following Tuesday or Wednesday, I had an appointment for a walkthrough. And I did speak to the lady afterwards because I just followed up to confirm with her, make sure. But we had an appointment already scheduled, and I was on stage, and I never talked to the person. They found me online. They found me through Google, and that's how they did it. And how did that happen? It happened because my systems are automated. That's how it happened. If I didn't have that system set up, it would have never happened that way. And I would have probably missed that account. As a matter of fact, I got it. Yeah, I did. I got that account. All right. So there you go. Okay. So Assured Comfort Clean. I'm going to try again to put that on my website in the automations. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. All right. Reach out to me. I'll show you. I'll make a video for you. Yeah. Just let me know exactly what you want to do. And because you're in automations, I'll make a video for you showing you how to do it, walk you through it. And then if you have any questions, just reach back out. I got you. Told you, when you're part of CBN or you're part of the automations, your family, and we reach out, we help each other out. So I'll definitely help you out. Okay. All right. So let's keep going. So like I was saying, every automation should be tied to a result, right? A booked walkthrough, a signed contract, paid invoice, right? Problem 3, the third problem is overbuilding too early, right? You're building at a level 10 when your systems are at a level 2. Right? You can't expect all of that stuff to work if your systems aren't set up in the beginning. And once again, all systems are just steps in how things are getting done, right? From, your invoices, how are appointments scheduled, how are invoices sent out, how are, clean scheduled with your technicians, all that stuff it's done in steps. You do step 1, you do step 2, all the way to the end, right? Write that stuff down, put it on a Google Doc, put it on, a Word sheet or something like that. But those are your systems. And so the thought process is, if you're not there, someone can kind of look at your system, the steps that they need to take in order to accomplish whatever it is that they're supposed to accomplish. That's a system. That's all it is. It's a checklist of how to do things, right? But a lot of us don't have it. We just have it all up here. Oh, I got to do this next. I got to do that next. It used to take me literally hours to onboard subcontractors, to onboard clients, to do invoices, all of that stuff, until I made a mental kind of decision to write all this stuff down. And I do all mine in Google Docs. All my stuff are in Google Docs. And that's a form of automations because it like I said, automations is the ability to take you away from having to be the one responsible for doing it, placing somebody else in that position to do it. Now it's automated. It's getting done without you personally or manually doing it. Somebody else can do it, right? So that could be you. Like I said, that could be a staff member. That could be a VA. That could be anybody. But you have to have that system in place. Okay. All right. So now, so like I said, overbuilding too early. So GPS tracking, advanced dashboards, complex workflows, none of that makes you money at the start. So trying to get all this, all these glitz and glamour, I want to get, all these softwares. I want to do all of this. I want to get my website up. That's just extra stuff. Start basics. Simple systems that execute beats the complexity every time, right? So simple systems that execute beat complex systems that just sit there and you don't use them or you don't know how to use them. All right, let's see. Do we have any more questions? Awesome. So Assured Comfort Clean says, sent a proposal out the other day. So glad that you have the template on there. It made the process so much easier. The fact that it shows you when they view the proposal is amazing. Man, that is spot on. That's spot on. And I'm glad you said that. Yeah. So me and AJ, we built a lot of templates and workflows and stuff like that for you within the automations program to get you started. Right. And we also, we have boot camps and stuff like that. We haven't had a boot camp in a while, but we show you how to use all these things. And if you still don't know how to use them, you can always reach out to us to kind of walk you through it or send you a video on how to do it. But most of the stuff is taught to you within the automations program and also through the boot camps that we've done, or you can, like I said, reach out to us and ask. But here's the thing, when it comes to the proposals, Assured Comfort Clean, that was amazing because there's another thing that can be done with it that I do with mine, but I don't really tell everybody to do it because I like kind of hands-on type of notifications. So I can tell, I have a workflow or an automation set up that every time they open it, I know they opened it. The way that you're talking about it, you can go into the proposal, you can view history, and then you can see when they open it. So you have to manually do it. So I automated that process where when they open that specific proposal, it sends me a notification that this person opened this proposal. And here's why I do it. I do it because it lets me know, one, when they opened it, right? Without me having to go and look. All right. The other thing is it gives me kind of a feeler of when I want to reach back out to them because they don't know that I know when they opened it, the proposal. I know when they open it. And when they open it, I give it a little while, then I call and say, hey, I just wanted to reach out. We sent you a proposal a couple of days ago. You guys have been on our mind, and we wanted to see, if there's anything that we could kind of clarify for you within the proposal setup. Is there anything that you are kind of hesitant about that you kind of want some more kind of adjustments or amendments to kind of give you a better feel? Anything like that, you know what I mean? So it gives me kind of a nudge. Hey, you can call, but you can reach back out to them because currently they're looking at it. And you already know that they're looking at it, so that if they're looking at it, they're interested, and if they're not interested, they're contemplating, they're trying to decide because you may be going against other people, but you know that they're looking at yours and you can kind of reach back out to them. I wouldn't do that every time they open it because then that would be weird. Then they would know, why are they calling me every time I open this proposal? But that's neither here nor there. All right. But yeah, that's a great, I guess, option that it has in the CRM to be able to look at your proposal, see when they opened it, see how many times they opened it. That's definitely, it helps you out a lot when it comes to doing follow-ups with that client. So I appreciate that comment. But so let's see. So here's a step to kind of fix, that the issues with automations. What is the one result this system needs to produce? All right. So that's the question. All right, every lead gets a response within 60 seconds. So for instance, remember in the beginning of this conversation, we were talking about missed calls. And I said that within the automations program, there's an automation setup that when you get a missed call, it sends a notification to whoever you assign it to send that notification to, whether it be you or your virtual assistant, your staff, or whatever. Sorry, I saw a comment and kind of threw me off. Yeah, or your staff or whatever, right? So you can set up that response to say, okay, you have a missed call from this person at this time, right? So after you get that response, you can say, okay, after they, let me rephrase that. Okay. So it's two separate things. One, you get a notification that there's a missed call, right? Coming to whoever. The other thing is the person that called and they weren't able to get you, they get a notification saying, hey, we're sorry we missed your call. Um, is there anything specific we can help you with? We can reach back out to you at a certain time, whatever. You can make it say whatever you want it to say, but they get a notification. What happens with that is when you call somebody and you get a missed call and, they're actively looking for a cleaning company, they're going to the next person on their list, right? So after you don't answer your call, they're going to the next person. But if they call you, they miss you or whatever, they start going to the next person, then they get a message from you. Now you're going to stay in their head. Right now, they got a message from you saying, we're sorry we missed your call. We're going to call you back, shortly or whatever. Your person gets a notification. Hey, you have a missed call. Reach back out to this person. Now you call them back. Tell me how that's going to make you look. It's going to make you look big time. It really is. Right. I had a lot of people say, wow, I love the way everything is automated. I love the notifications that we get. I love the open communication that we can have with you, even though it's not even directly with me. It's through an automation. So it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right. And this is the GOAT right here. AJ Simmons said, great stuff. I got to start doing more demos too. Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think, so I've been doing videos for, all this week, kind of videos for people that have been asking questions about how to do this, that, and the third. And I've just started doing videos. I have a bunch of videos of different things, but yeah, that's something that I'm definitely going to start doing for our people that are in CBN that have questions about the CRM. Not necessarily have to be in automations, but because they're in a CBN family, we definitely help you guys out with helping you and guiding you through learning the CRM. And then, of course, and I don't want to really get into that, but there's onboarding video calls that AJ has set up with Bell that absolutely helps with people in CBN and learning the CRM. But in the automations it's next level. Automations is way more different. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. It's way different than being in the regular group, because you get all the workflows, you get the automations, you get the different forums, you get, man, so many other things. And then an open door policy to kind of reach out to us if you have any questions on how to do things. And you just get access to so much more things to help take your business to the next level. So, yeah, AJ says 100 facts, man. But, we're winding down. We're at 6:53. I don't see a lot of, I don't see any more comments unless I miss any. So I'm gonna kind of scroll through, see if I missed any comments. And if I didn't answer your question, I kind of, scroll past it. Do me a favor, pop it in the chat, in the comment right now. Then that way I can kind of answer it. But if not, I'm going to start to wind down and kind of leave it here. I'm not going to go through all of them. There's so much more. So what I'll do is probably carry it over to the next conversation. So what you'll have to do is, maybe I'll hop on with AJ next week and we'll talk about this some more, or maybe we'll just hold it till the next live that I do. But what you should do, you can kind of beat the rush on all of this, and you can get all the answers to everything that I have listed that I was talking about by going to www.cleanbizuniversity.com/automations, where you can get in to the automations programs right now, and you can get in and get all of this stuff activated and started in your CRM and help to get your business leveling up, because it definitely is a game changer. It definitely makes you look a lot more professional, up to speed with all the other bigger companies that do all of these big elaborate things and stuff like that. It's all automations. It's all the same thing. We can do it too. We can do the exact same thing. You just have to know what it is that you want, and we can make it happen. So that being said, it's 6:55. I went a little bit over. So in case you don't know who I am, right there, or not over here, there it is, at Sherman Lewis Official. You can reach me at YouTube on that. And the best place to reach me is in CBN, Clean Biz Network. or the automations program. That's where I'm at all the time. If you need to reach out to me. I am the owner of Squeaky Clean here in South Carolina. Also the owner of Clean Success Academy, Clean Success VA Staffing Solutions, and I am the author of a new book that I wrote, and AJ gave me permission to do this, so I'm doing it again. This is The Invisible Bottleneck, a book that I wrote about being the bottleneck in your business, mainly speaking about cleaning business and figuring out how to get yourself out of being the thing that's holding your business back from growing. That can be got, or you can purchase that on Amazon, and probably next week you'll be able to go directly to my personal website, which will be ShermanLewisOfficial.com, and you'll be able to get a copy that will be autographed by me, but that doesn't come out until like next week. But with that being said, once again, I'm Sherman Lewis. I am the automations king, I'm told. I don't know if I'm a king yet. I think I may be a prince, but I'm working on being a king. So let's go, rock with us. Catch us next time, same bad channel, but we'll catch you next time. That being said, listen to this as we roll out of
headed to the top, ain't none of y'all stopping me. Used to say I never get a ring, Charles Barkley. Now I got a wife, got kids, on property. Bubble-eyed beans that look like that be watching me. Okay, I lied about the beans, but that was hard though. I'm still in that black act, but she starred though. Cause that's all it takes. Don't flash it for. I'm on my grind, not no more fashion show.